Learning is Li'il Nishmas Etta Ahuva Basaka. Mesechus Nedarim Perek Aleph Mishna Daled. Ha'omer Karben Oila Mincha Chatas Toida Shloimie She'eni Oichelach. Someone says this thing is like a Oila Mincha Chatas Toida Shloimie that I will not eat, but he didn't say ki. He didn't say the like. He just said Oila Mincha Chatas Toida Shloimie. So it's totally in the same machlekes at the end of the last Mishnah. The Tanakama says Aser Rabbi Yehuda Mater because he didn't say with a chaf. Ha-carbon, kick-carbon, sha'ichalach, whether he says ha-carbon or kick-carbon or just plain carbon, all these things are aser. Lik-carbon, lo'ichalach, remeir oiser. So the Gemara explains over here that when he says lik-carbon, lo'ichalach, it's as if he said lik-carbon yehei, it should be like a carbon, lefichach, lo'ichalach. Therefore, I will not eat you, and therefore, the thing that he's asering is aser. If someone tells his friend, my mouth that is speaking with you is a lashon of koinem, a lashon of neder. Yadai oisai imach, or my hands that are working with you, or raglei mahalich leches imach, or my feet that are going with you. Also, in all these things, the neder is chal. So here the Gemara asks the question that we know that a neder, unlike a shvuah, can't be chal on a davar she'im by mamish, which we'll shortly see again in Perek Bey's Mishnah Aleph. So if it can't be chal on a davar she'im by mamish, so his speaking and his hands working and his feet going are all davar she'im by mamish. So the Gemara says, it sounds like in the Gemara it's in Ukimpta, but oimer ya'aser pi lidibure, my mouth should become aser for my speech. Yadai l'masein, but he's really asering the mouth, the hands, and the regel. But the Ran over there learns that he doesn't actually have to speak that out. It's as if he said that. It's naseh ko'imer. The Ran also speaks out that even though a davar she'im by mamish doesn't become aser, that's only midaraisa, but midarabanan, the neder will be chal. Perek Bey's Mishnah Aleph, ve'elu mutarim. The following things are mutter. So we know that there's a halacha when you make a neder, that if you're matvasit in a davar hanadar, like you say that this bread is also to me like a carbon, as we've been saying the whole time, that's called hatfasa bedavar hanadar. So a neder could be in one of two ways. Either you say this thing is asar on me, straight out, or you say that the halacha of this bread will be like a carbon. So that's called hatfasa. So the din of hatfasa is dafka on something which is davar hanadar, meaning something that was originally mutter, and I made it asar, like a carbon. Originally, this was a regular animal of chulin that I was able to eat, and then I asered it. And that's learned out from a pasuk of ish ki yidar nedar laHashem, and we darshan ad sheyadar b'davar hanadar. But something that was always asar from the time it was created, you can't have hatfasa on it. Hatfasa is not going to be chal, because that's not called a davar hanada. That's called hatfasa b'davar ha'asar, and the neder is not chal. So the Mishnah gives a bunch of examples of this. Chulin sha'ichalach is pasha. That's not a carbon. That's obviously not hatfasa to be chal. But the next cases are all examples of this. Kibazar chazer, like the meat of a pig, which was always asar. Kavei dezara, which was always asar. Ko'eris levuvin, like the skins by the heart, that they used to use that for a avodah zarah. They would make a hole in the animal opposite the heart, and they would take out the heart and be makar v'tavodah zarah. Kinevela is like nevelas, which are aser. Kitreifos, kishkatzim, kiramasim. All these things are aser. Kichalas aron uchutramasai. Mutter. All these things, there's no hatfasa because it's hatfasa b'davar ha'aser and it's not chal. The next case in the Mishnah is also hatfasa b'davar asar. Ha'omer le'ishtay, he tells his wife, Harei at alai ki ima, you're asar on me like my mother. So now a mother was asar from the time he was born. So the chayr is not a davar hanadar, and therefore the neder is not chal. And the pashtus then, like in the ratio of the Mishnah, if it's not chal, you don't even need she'ela. But over here, the Mishnah says it's a little bit different. Paischan loy pesach mimakam achar. You do need she'ela, and the Gemara explains this is a derabanan dika reason. So the Mishnah, what's the reason? Shalo yikal roishe lekach. So the Ran explains because the derech is that a person gets upset at his wife and he starts making nedarim. To a regular person, he doesn't make nedarim, but since over here he's speaking to his wife, and we didn't want a person to become ragel nedarim, meaning he's going to make nedarim even in the case he's going to be matvaseh b'davar hanadar, where it will be chal. So therefore we said that you should need she'ela midarabanan. The last halacha in the Mishnah is koinem she'ini yashan, she'ini medaber, she'ini mahalich. If someone says a lashon of koinem, of not sleeping, not speaking, and not walking, so all these things is going to be aser midirabanan, because over here is a davar shein by mamish. We said by davar shein by mamish it's going to be chal midirabanan. The Mishnah says in a second, reizeh b'lo yachal devaray, but the Rav explains that means midirabanan. Ha'omer leishtay koinem she'eni mishham shecha. If someone tells his wife a lashon neder that I'm not going to have tashmish with you, and as we spoke out in Ksuvis, that such a neder would not be chal because he has a chiyuv of oina. So rather, the Gemara gives an ukimta that it's saying that he's asering her tashmish on him, that he can't have enough from her. So in such a case, the neder is chal hareizeh b'lo yachal devaray, again midirabanan. The Gemara, the Ran asks a kasha over here that it's mitzvah lav lehenes in this. So what's the problem? Let him have tashmish, and he's not really having enough because mitzvah lav lehenes in this. The Ran gives a famous teretz that he holds that mitzvah lav lehenes in is only the kiyam ha-mitzvah is not considered hana. But if he's having a physical pleasure, b'shas, he's doing a mitzvah, that avada is iser hana. The last thing the Mishnah says is shvua she'eni yashan, she'eni medaber, she'eni mahalach. The same thing by shvua. Over there it is chal, bein bedavar she'yesh by mamish, bein bedavar she'en by mamish, and therefore aser will be aser midaraisa.